Hello students, welcome to the online tutorial for Vidyavan Higher Secondary School. Today this video is for class 12 science. I'll continue the chapter heredity and variation in this video. And let's not then waste any more time and let's get started with our chapter heredity and variation. Now we will move on to our next topic, that is the sex determination. In this topic, I will mainly discuss with the sex determination of bird and grasshopper along with the sex determination in man. See, in case of human, what happens? See, the male having the chromosome XY and the female having the chromosome XX. So what happens? The gametes coming out XY from the male and from the female it is coming X and X. Now what happens in the next, that X and X combine to form the daughter and X and Y combines to form a son. This happens in case of human. Now we will see what is happening in case of bird and grasshopper. In case of male, in case of bird, the male will have the gametes capital Z, capital Z. Here Z determines the maleness and the female will having the gametes Z and W. Here W determines the female characteristics and Z determines the male characteristic. So the gametes will come out from here Z and Z and over here Z and W. Now if this Z combines with this Z, so what we will get? We will get a young male, right? And if this Z combines with this W, then we will get a young female. So this is the sex determination in bird. In case of grasshopper, what is happening? Male and female. See, the male is having 22AXO and the female is having 22AXX. Here X determines the female characteristics and O determining the male characteristics. So gametes, what we are getting, 11A plus X, 11A plus O. Over here 11A plus X, 11A plus X. Now you just think, if this 11A and 11AX comes out, it will produce 22A plus XX, which is a female one. And if this O is combining with this one, then we will get 22A plus XO, okay, which is a male one. So this is the sex determination process in case of man, bird and grasshopper. Now we will move on to our next topic. So this is the heterochromatin and euchromatin. The first is the heterochromatin, that the chromatin network that remains highly condensed during interphase. Okay, that means in the interphase region it is highly condensed, but it is not actively transcribed. That means we cannot transcribe or it cannot be transcripted to protein properly. Whereas the euchromatin, which is less condensed during the interphase and can be transcribed to protein, and it is generally condenses during the mitosis stage. So it becomes easier to transcript the protein. Now the heterochromatin is again of two types. We will see that. Now the heterochromatin is of two types. One is constitutive heterochromatin, another one is the facultative heterochromatin. Now there are what are these constitutive and facultative heterochromatin? Constitutive heterochromatin is a part of the chromosome, whereas the facultative heterochromatin is formed by the inactivation of the chromosome of the homologous pair. See, you can see the constitutive is stable, whereas the facultative is reversible. It is not stable. Next is that this constitutive contains satellite DNA, whereas this facultative one, it is formed of line sequences of DNA. Okay, this constitutive shows polymorphism. Okay, and it does not show polymorphism. And the constitutive is formed of C bands, whereas the facultative does not have the C bands. There is a lack of the C bands. See, this is the topic of the polytene chromosome. Okay, polytene chromosome are found in the salivary glands of Drosophila. This Drosophila, that means the housefly. This is the entire set of the polytene chromosome, and this is the one arm of the polytene chromosome. See, the polytene chromosome is consist of 5 arms, and this is one of the arms. So what is it? It is actually found in the salivary gland. And why it is called polytene? Because it is made up of many chromonema. That is why poly means many. That is why it is named polytene chromosome. Okay, and it is generally much more larger than the somatic chromosome. Okay, and these giant polytene chromosomes have a distinct pattern. Okay, dark band and interband. The dark band, that means which in these areas the DNA are tightly packed, okay, forming a dark impression, whereas this interband, over here the DNA is loosely band or loosely packed, okay, so it is not that much dark. Okay, and apart from this, you can see that these polytene chromosomes have some enlargement at some of its sites of the chromosomal size. It is very much enlarged, and those enlargement are termed as the Bulbiani ring. So this is the general idea of the polytene chromosome. So this is the Lamb-Rush chromosome. It is found in the amphibian oocytes. Okay. Now, as you can see, it is having lateral appearances. Okay, and it is having an appearance of the bottle washer. Okay, and you can see this axis of the Lamb-Rush chromosome is actually formed of chromatid. Okay, and these loops or these lateral loops are actually formed of chromatin, and this axis is actually formed of chromatid, and it is generally 3 times larger than the polytene chromosome. Understood? Now we will see the intron and exon portions of the gene or the DNA. Now what happens, as we know that chromosome is actually formed of gene. Now the gene has 2 parts, one is exon, another one is intron. What is exon? The part of the gene that can be transcribed or that can be transcripted to mRNA coding sequence, that is termed as the exon. And what is intron? The portion of the gene that cannot be transcripted to coding sequence of mRNA, that is the intron. Okay. Now we will see what is linkage. What is linkage? Linkage means linked. Okay, that means the genes which are located close to each other have the tendency to inherit together. Okay, that means they cannot be separated from each other. They are having the tendency to be inherited together. This phenomena is termed as the linkage. Now the linkage is of 2 types. One is complete, another one is the incomplete. Now we will see a comparison between complete and incomplete linkage. See, the linked genes which are inherited together completely are termed as complete linkage, and the genes which cannot be inherited completely are termed as incomplete linkage or incomplete linked genes. Now complete linkage, what happens? The genes cannot separate and remain always together and inherited together. But in case of incomplete linkage, they can be separated at the time of the crossing over. Third point, complete linkage. The phenomena of inheritance of completely linked genes is called complete linkage, like red-green color blindness or hemophilia. Whereas the phenomena by which the incompletely linked genes is being transmitted or inherited are termed as the incomplete linkage, like retinitis, nephritis. These are the examples. Now we will see what is crossing over. You see, this is one gene. Suppose this is from the parental gene. Obviously, this one is from father, another is from mother. Okay. Now what will happen in the next? You see that one segment of the father's gene and one segment of the mother's genes are being intercrossed. Now in the next step, what we are seeing, you see one segment from this and one segment from this are being intercrossed, and the new genotype is being formed. So this is termed as crossing over, and this X-like structure is termed as the chiasma. Now we will see the significance of the importance of crossing over. What is the importance? First of all, new combinations are being produced. Next importance is that due to crossing over, segments of the homologous chromosomes are interchanged and provide us the origin of the new characters and genetic variations. Number 3, it plays a very important role in the field of breeding to improve the quality of the plants and animals. So this is about the significance of crossing over. Now we will learn about nucleotides. Now nucleotides are formed of pentose sugar, nitrogenous base and phosphate group. Okay, and these nucleic acids are nothing but the polymers of nucleotides. That means many nucleotides combine to form the nucleic acids. Now there are two types of nucleic acids we are having. One is DNA, another one is RNA. That means deoxyribonucleic acid, another one is ribonucleic acid. Now DNA containing the phosphate group, deoxyribose, and the nitrogenous base are adenine, guanine, cytosine and thymine. Whereas the RNA is having the ribose sugar, phosphate group, and the nitrogenous base is that adenine, guanine, cytosine and uracil. Okay, so this is all about the nucleotides and nucleic acids. I am finishing my video till here. Hopefully you have understood everything. Thank you.